Good evening. You are watching this special edition of ICDB with me, Alfuseni Saho. Our topic of discussion is the role of children in national development. With me in the studio is Mr. Drame, former coordinator of Child Protection Alliance, and Honorable Koromo Jamme, a member of the Children's National Assembly. You are both welcome to the program. Mr. Drame, I have some questions to ask you. Mr. Drame, who is a child?
Thank you very much, Mr. Sao, for that great question and for inviting me to your program. A child in the Gambia legally, or as they would say, according to the law, is any person under the age of 18 years. And so this is the same definition that's in the Children's Act 2005 of the Gambia, the Tourism Offences Act 2003, the Labour Act 2007, and the Trafficking in Persons Act 2007 as well. So a child in the Gambia legally is somebody who is under the age of 18 years.
What importance do children have?
Children are important, absolutely important. Of course, they say that this earth is borrowed from the children, and so something a place that adults would have to return. So children are important. If you look at in the Gambia, according to the 2013 census, children form about 45% of the population of this country. And now I think some statistics are putting it around 48%. So nearly half of the population of this country is under the age of children. So children are important because, I mean, they would be the leaders tomorrow. They are leaders in their own rights, but leadership as adults, they would become the president, the ministers, the decision makers and policy makers of this country. So the people who would ensure that this place, this territory called the Gambia would be a better place for all of us. So yeah, children are absolutely important. I mean, everywhere. In the family, children are important. At school, in our communities, and in the country.
Thank you for answering those questions. Karamu, what is the rule of your assembly?
Okay, the role of the children of the Gambia Children National Assembly is to advocate and teach children of the Gambia their rights. Okay, so our job or our duties are to advocate for the rights of the children and make sure that their rights are protected.
How do you look into the issues of children?
We look into issues of children through investigations and inform the police on any suspects. And in a success, we look into matters like FGMC, child labor, rights to education, and rights to survival.
Thank you. Mr. Drama, we are coming back to you. What is the role of children in national development?
Thank you again. The role of children is absolutely important. I think people would say, well, children don't have votes. They don't vote, so therefore they don't have a voice. But let's look at it this way. Children form about 48% of the population, so their role is absolutely important. That when decisions are being made, children ought to be consulted. When laws are being made, children ought to be consulted. Children should participate. People should hear the voice of children, because those laws, those policies, those decisions that adults would be making would be for children, would be for the future. And these children would live in this future. So it's important that whatever is happening in this country, in terms of law, in terms of policy, in terms of decision making, that children are consulted. Like, for instance, we have a children's forum called the Children's National Assembly of the Gambia. They can be consulted. Their views can be solicited. There is a new NDP, National Development Plan, 2023 to 2027. That is about the government's vision of having a green Gambia, a better Gambia. I mean, that's for the society, but that's for children as well. So when such laws are being formulated, such policies are being formulated, it's important that children are consulted. Views of children are also solicited. Children tell them what their aspirations are for the future. Children tell adults what their dreams are. I'm told that it's only a very bad architect who would design a house, build a house, and then when he or she is ready, ask the people who would live in that house their opinion. Any good architect would have to do the design with the people who would live in it. And I'm saying this because the future is for children. So when adults are sitting to discuss that issue, that future, and children are going to live in that future, it's important that children are consulted. It's important the views of children are there. So children are not supposed to be on the menu. They are supposed to be at the table as well. So it's not about, no, they don't have a voice. They have a voice because when bad laws are made, it's going to affect children. When good laws are made, it's going to affect children. When we look at the economic situation of the country, for instance, the people who are more affected are actually families, and in those families are actually children. They are the most vulnerable. They are very dependent. They are very powerless. They are very voiceless. But that doesn't mean that children can't think. That doesn't mean that children can't contribute to national development. I think when children's voices are in all what we do, I think we can get a better society. And so it's about ensuring that we strengthen the environment for effective child participation.
Yes. Mr. Drame, I have one more question for you. How can children be supported?
I think children can be supported, as I said, in many ways. Listening to children, understanding their concerns, bringing them to the table and not people who are on the menu, understanding what their concerns are. What problems do children have? It's about health care. Is it about quality of education? It's about recreational facilities. Is it about life? Whatever. I think children can be supported in that way, not by giving them money, but by listening to them, by ensuring that their views and opinions are integrated or mainstreamed in decisions, policies, and laws that we make. By encouraging them, by ensuring that they have all the facilities at their disposal. For instance, if we say children have a right to education, we need to ensure that schools have good libraries. We need to ensure that stationery are also in schools. We need to ensure that, if it's about right to health, we need to ensure that the hospitals have the adequate resources, adequate medicament or medicine, adequate doctors, but we also need to ensure that teachers are also well paid or doctors are well paid so that they are able to fulfill the needs of children. So I think in many ways, parents, teachers, other adults, the state can all support children, actually by ensuring that they are at the decision-making table and not just on the menu.
Thank you. And finally, Karamo, how do you work with children?
Okay, I work with children through communication. Like I go to the streets, see children who aren't going to school, ask them why and how are they not going to school? Why is it? Is it because of issues that they don't have the money to go, or this, and ask them the difficulties that they are facing in their communities, homes, or even in their schools.
That was all we have time for. Thank you for watching.